Ashish Dixit, Micah Martin, Dave Hoover. How you guys doing?
Good. Good to be here.
You guys.
Howdy.
We were having a conversation here about mentoring, and you guys have some strong opinions on that. Let's continue that conversation. Dave, you said you wrote a book on apprenticeship.
Yes.
What's that?
Apprenticeship patterns. It's not necessarily about apprenticeship programs, but it's about people in Ashish's situation right now who are kind of creating their own apprenticeship.
What do you do? What's your situation?
So I'm starting a Rails development position this Monday at a company down in Baltimore, MD Logics. But I have limited experience in Rails and Ruby, but they're willing to take me on and then let me learn as I work with them. And then I want to basically use this opportunity to build a better foundation, not just in Ruby and Rails, but as a programmer, and then learn methodologies like test-driven development, agile methodologies.
So this is a formal apprenticeship program that you're signing up for. They're going to
No,
train you.
this is a full-time job,
Mhm.
but they're willing to. Yes. So it's an apprenticeship opportunity, but it's not an official apprenticeship program that's run by the company.
And what I meant by that is, even if the company he was working at didn't even know that word or never used it ever, I know Ashish looks at it as an apprenticeship.
I see. Okay.
You know, this is
sounds
the
like
point. The point in his career where he's pulling mentors towards him, reading, just exposing himself to tons of different books, kind of like creating his own education.
All right. And you guys both have formal apprenticeship programs in your
That's right.
company.
Mhm.
Micah, tell me about yours.
Well, it was part of the creation of the company where we believed in this philosophy of software craftsmanship. And one aspect of that is the apprenticeship. That if you're going to learn how to be a great developer, then you should really find a mentor who is good at what they do, good at writing software, and learn from them. And so there's a long history of that. Before I started A-Flight at Object Mentor and with Ken Auer at Role Model Software. And I found it to be very true, especially with my experience coming out of school. I learned so much learning from my mentors. And so we adopted that philosophy, and we have an apprenticeship program for bringing in new staff.
Okay, so everybody that joins your company, they go through this apprenticeship program, or just the new college hires, or what's the?
So some of the more junior people, they go through the apprenticeship program.
Okay. Is that similar to your program, Dave? You
Yeah,
have
it
a
is.
formal apprenticeship program?
Yeah, we hire people at all different skill levels, but we have a similar program where people at the lower end of the skill and experience spectrum go through our apprenticeship program.
All right. And do you have mentors? Are you have somebody assigned to each Padawan?
Yeah, in different ways. I mean, like each of our apprentices do have somebody who's assigned to like check in with them weekly.
Okay.
But during the week, it's a little bit looser. Like the apprentice is going to spend time with several different people.
Okay.
And ours is a bit more structured. Our craftsmen actually hire their own apprentices, and it's a one-to-one relationship.
So is there some sort of graduation process from being an apprentice to being a craftsman?
There is. Yeah, so we have a checklist, which we borrowed from Optiva, basically to represent all the things that they need to know before we hire them as a craftsman. And then we have a very secret ritual which we perform.
You can tell us. I don't want to tell anyone else.
I can't spoil it for future apprentices out there.
Is it painful?
No.
Just
not physically.
all right. So I got a couple of questions here. Let me start with the first one. I've been in the software business a long time, and I can tell you that the idea of formal apprenticeship program is rare. The idea of mentoring, although people on the surface, I think they see it as a good idea, I don't see a lot of companies buying into that. Do you agree with that statement?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, and why is that, do you think?
Because, well, I think it's most natural for companies like Optiva and A-Flight, because our business is our people.
That's true of a lot of companies, though. I think most service companies.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, but a lot of companies that take advantage of technology see the people as cost.
Okay.
Even fairly enlightened companies, even companies that are building great stuff, they're still, it's hard for them to swallow the cost of non-productive time, of people not on the assembly line cranking more product or better product and increasing revenue directly. with their actions.
Okay.
I think it's just really hard. For us, we just know to be competitive, we need to have the best people, you know, and so it just makes sense.
All right, so what happens with the Shishas of the world, or early in the career? Because there are only so many 8 and Optivas out there.
Right.
And he's anxious to learn, he's anxious to find a mentor. What did you do?
Well, so what I'm doing right now is I'm doing more remote pair programming sessions. I basically approach people on Twitter and I say, hey, do you have half an hour or an hour? Or I send them an email, just work on a simple code kata or a Ruby quiz.
Uh-huh.
And then I basically learn from that experience. And then actually the talk that I gave was basically on remote pair programming and how it can be used for someone new to learn a program, a technology, framework. And they could also, and then in that process I discovered that it doesn't have to be someone who's new to programming, but like if you are new to a particular technology, you could find someone who is well versed in that, just go talk to them and be like, hey, do you want to do a
So
remote
you're doing your pairing
programming
as
session?
an educational process.
Yes.
Yeah, it's interesting. I just did a show, the last one I recorded with a couple of guys from Microsoft who lived on opposite coasts. They built a project together
Right.
through remote pairing.
Yep.
And talking about the process of how they did that.
Yeah.
They were both experienced guys, but they still used it as a learning experience because one was a phone developer and one was a web developer.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Um,
Yeah, I mean, in terms of where is Shisha's right now, it's similar. Aptiva's apprenticeship program grew out of my experience.
okay.
And so on day one of our apprenticeship program, there was almost no structure. We were talking about like the different ways that Aptiva and 8th Light's apprenticeship programs work, and these days, after 4 or 5 years of evolution, they're pretty well structured. But coming out of that kind of like a bootstrapped learning situation, the way Ashish has, it was the way I came out, and that's kind of what my book is about, is like bootstrapping your own apprenticeship, kind of, when you can't find an apprenticeship program.
Well, tell me about that process. So if I've got a company and I want to develop my people better, and I see mentoring and apprenticeship programs as a way of doing that, where do I need to start?
Oh, okay, so yeah, you'd want to just go so the instinct is people are going to want to like lay out the curriculum, they're going to want to lay out like how, like the whole plan, right? And that's going to fail. You're never going to get it out the door. So you have to start with like a lunch and learn.
Okay.
Like you have to start with the culture. You can't just like grow an apprenticeship program into some dead culture where nobody's learning actively together. You have to start with the culture. Like, and the easiest thing to do is just find a couple people that are passionate about technology, or some new technology or whatever. Maybe a technology you're working with every day, and just get together over lunch.
Okay.
That's the easiest thing.
I like this first starting point, low friction.
Yeah. And just go from there.
We were just talking to a couple people a few days ago about one company that's trying to start an apprenticeship program where they have a curriculum of information that they're going to basically feed to the apprentices. And we were talking about how that's totally the wrong way. The apprentices have to be passionate, and they have to be able to pull the knowledge out of their mentors. And the mentor is just there to basically show them the next step. This is what you need to do next.
And I work with a lot of companies that have the boot camp.
Uh-huh.
Say, we've got you in here, we're going to send you off to a crash course, you'll learn C#, you'll learn ASP.NET, not Microsoft, but, and then come back and then we'll throw you in the water and swim.
Yeah.
And yours is a lot more gradual process than that.
Yeah, they're both of our programs are about 6 months, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's also, again, because we're in consultancies, we need to have people that at the end of the process, they're not experts at a specific thing, they're experts at learning.
Right.
Because they might, we need them to go be successful for us, which means they might be, there's just a huge variety of things they might be working with. You know, whereas
Sure.
a company that has a specific product, their tendency is going to have to, that at the end of the 2 weeks or 6 months or whatever it is, they're going to know exactly their stack. You know, and that's what we need. You know, but that's, I don't know, I haven't seen that be successful yet, as far as I know.
And I think RMU is obviously not an apprentice, like a company-run apprenticeship program, but I think RMU has a similar philosophy.
What's
RMU
RMU?
RMU is Ruby Mendicant University that Gregory Brown started with, where he had James Edward Gray, who was another Rubyist, as a mentor, and he benefited a lot from that experience, and he basically wanted to scale that to other people like me who want to learn Ruby, want to get into the fundamentals of programming, but don't have the mentorship. But he didn't want to do a one-on-one because he felt he didn't have enough time. So he started this RMU thing just as an idea to test it out, and did a couple iterations of it. And I was on the second official session, third session of RMU, and it's project-based approach where you have 4 problems that are predetermined in different areas, and then you pick your own personal project, and over the course of 3 weeks, you complete 3 out of 4 of the projects, the homework assignments that are assigned, and then you make a significant progress in your personal project.
So now you're gathering information wherever you can. Doesn't sound like you've got a specific mentor. Like you talked about, you've got a mentor and a mentee. I don't know.
Yeah, that's
An
right.
apprentice and a mentor
Right.
with this one-on-one relationship, and you've got somebody checking out what is assigned to that.
Mhm.
What's how long does this mentor relationship last? After 6 months, right, is that person still a mentor? Are they still having this, or are they mentors for life, or what's the?
Well, I mean, the whole philosophy of craftsmanship is that you're continually learning and
I
growing.
totally agree with that.
So,
I wonder if that relationship stays the same throughout.
It
the
varies,
entire
I mean, person to person, I'm sure, for
And
each
is that,
one.
is that good, is that a good thing? I've got people that have been mentors throughout my career. What I've discovered is that that relationship changes, that if we keep, eventually, it's time for me to find a new mentor.
Oh, sure.
And I don't want to be totally tied to learning just from this one person. I want to learn from somebody else. Not that I would still maintain relationships, but that relationship changes over time. I consider that a healthy thing.
Yeah, you don't want them to just be locked in on that one person.
Of course.
I mean, like, the nice thing about an apprenticeship program is that it's focused for a specific amount of time, and it's fine to be focused on a single mentor potentially. But the apprenticeship program is different from an apprenticeship, which is, you should treat like probably the first 5, 6, whatever, how many years of your career as an apprenticeship, right? But the program is just like very focused time, like RMU or a formal apprenticeship program.
How long have you been writing software, David?
11 years.
Micah?
11 years as well.
11. Do you guys have mentors today? 11 years
Yes.
into your careers.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Still, okay.
Yeah. I mean, I mentors that I reached out to back when I was first starting are still mentors to me.
Okay.
And just there's just the more experienced people I've run across in the intervening years. You know.
And I'm fortunate enough to have a father who's very proficient in the software industry, and he's continued to grow over the years too, and so I'm continually learning from him, as well as other people in the industry as well.
I haven't met your father, but I read the book that you and your father co-wrote together.
Yeah.
Really good book.
Thank you.
Anything else?
I basically want to take a chance and tell people that they should be doing more remote pair programming.
Okay.
It's a great way to learn.
Okay.
And if more experienced people get energized, and if we have more people in the community doing it with people like me, then we'll have more people learning faster. That's always a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I would say is I think we're going to see more and more things like apprenticeship programs and things like RMU, and people using, like we were just talking about before we started recording, using associate degrees to their advantage, and then working their way through all these different sorts of non-mainstream educational tools to get themselves started in this career.
Sure.
I think that's going to be the future, especially as like this education bubble continues to go up. So we're just going to see more and more crazy stuff like this in the future. I'm pretty excited about it.
And it's not just for the beginners, right? As a mentor, you're teaching people, and as you're teaching, you're learning a lot yourself and growing. So it's just this renewable cycle to help everyone with better software.
You guys have an online presence you want to promote?
Red Squirrel on Twitter. There's 2 R's in Red Squirrel, by the way.
Okay.
You can go to eighthlight.com, or my Twitter handle is Slagyr, Slagyr.
Does that mean something?
We don't want to go into
It's
that.
a whole other episode.
I'm Tundal45, Tundal 45 on Twitter,
Okay.
and pretty much everywhere else.
Guys, thanks a lot. Appreciate your time. Great
Thank you
talking.
very much. technology stay together.